The last step in the quiz process is to add questions to your quizzes. And remember that we put in, or we added our quizzes to our questions to our categories in one of the previous videos. And so in this video we are going to actually go in and we're going to add our questions to our quiz. So we're going to click on the quiz itself, and when the quiz itself comes up we are going to click on Edit Quiz. And once you're inside your quiz bank will come up. And this is one of the reasons why we wanted it to be divided into categories, so they're going to be easier to work with. Right now it says default for the Moodle Bootcamp. So all of the questions that have anything to do with Moodle Bootcamp will be listed. If we click and go to our introduction, then only the 10 questions that have to do with the introduction is going to be in our list to choose from. Since we know all of these questions are going to go in the quiz, I'm going to click on the square at the top, which selects all of my questions. Once I have done that, I will click on Add to Quiz, and it will move them over to the quiz section. The way I have my quiz set up, each one of them is going to show up on a separate page. You can also change it to where it shows up on one page continuously. Studies show that it's easier for students to have one question at a time and move to the next question. Your maximum grade will show up here, and you may change this however you want to change it. Since I have 10 questions in this quiz, I'm going to leave it at 10, but I could make this 100 and it would automatically count each question as 10 points versus as 1 point. But for right now I'm going to go ahead and leave it set like that. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to click on Save, and that will save it. Before I do that, if there's a question that I decide, I really don't want that in my quiz, I can click on the X button and it will take it back out of my quiz. But I'm going to go ahead and click on Save and save my quiz as we have it set up now. And when you do that, it's going to take just a second for it to go in and add those questions to the quiz. And then we'll go in and we'll take a look at the quiz to see how it looks to a student when a student goes in to take it, and what they're going to have to work with. So my quiz is done, my questions have been added. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to my course. So I'm going to go back to Introduction Assessment because that's what we're taking. At this point in time I can now go in and I can preview my quiz. It's going to come up and tell me you're only allowed one attempt. I'm going to go ahead and click on Start Attempt. And it comes up and asks me my questions. And if you'll remember from when we put questions in before, so I could go in and I can answer this question, and I can click on Next, and each of the questions is going to come up in its own fashion. You'll notice that we still have the same dialog box that we had before. So if students want to use that formatting, they still will be able to do that on their questions. So I click on all of the above and I click on Next. Anyway, it'll go on through the questions, on through each one of the questions until it gets to the end of the quiz. Once the quizzes have been taken, you will have, and it's going to want me to continue, you would have a button here that would say Preview Attempts, and that's where you could go in and you could check to see if the student had taken the quiz and how he had done on the quiz.